Man, fellas, appreciate you guys being here, and I'm gonna fight the tears because of this group of young men. I mean, there was no hesitation, and we've talked even throughout the week. I mean, even with everything that happened from Sunday on, they didn't blink. They were, coach, we got your back. Let's go finish this thing the right way, and they led it. Our coaching staff did a great job this week creating the plan and put into action. But once again, I cannot even kind of start talking to you guys before I talk about these kids, man. I mean, you talk about a group that showed up to work every single day with every chance to have an excuse, and they never worked to find one. And I'm just so proud of these young men. And I tell them all the time, I'm impacted more by them than I know I impact them, and they're going to be successful in life because of it. So, this group of young men is these seniors and this whole team. Like I said, I'm gonna start crying if I keep talking more about them, but just so proud of them. So proud.
You talked about the focus all week, just, especially in that second quarter, just how focused in were they?
Yeah. Well, it was awesome to see us continue to play the game consistently throughout the whole game. Obviously, they scored first, and football is a game of momentum. And obviously, as coaches, you're working your tail off to find ways to respond, even when things maybe aren't going your way. But for us in all three phases, to be able to stay on the attack, was not perfect by any means. There's a lot we're excited to clean up, but be able to stay on the attack and do it together as a team, I mean, that's Boise State football, and I'm proud of that. Proud of our kids for that.
You mentioned momentum. You guys are down 10-0. George hits that 75-yard touchdown run. What impact did that have on the sideline and the whole team?
Huge. I mean, once again, even talking about another, George Halani, coming into his senior year, gets hurt, misses almost half the season, and humble and hungry, works his tail off to get back on the field, and he's just been productive every single week. He led this team as well. All these guys did such a phenomenal job leading their brothers. And so him making that big-time play in that big-time moment to help swing that momentum, there's not another guy that I'd be more excited for than George Halani.
You mentioned the emotions. I mean, the Gatorade bath, then you're doing the post-game interview, they mob you again. I mean, how do you describe that feeling?
Oh, BJ, once again, it's a group of young men that has my heart, and they love each other. They love their coaches. And like I said, they impact me in way more ways than I impact them. I see them every day. It puts a smile on my face. Once again, when things are not going, like they have every excuse to not. And for them to do what they did tonight, once again, but just the attitude they did it with when they came to practice, seeing them reap those benefits, BJ, that's what I'm so proud of these guys, man. I mean, I know I'm saying the same thing, but I'm just so proud of these kids, man. It's all about them. I love them dearly, and I do anything for them. And they do anything for each other. And that's what you saw tonight. That doesn't mean football is always going to be perfect. But I'm a firm believer when you do that, you do it together, and you have joy when you're doing it with each other, good things are going to come. And it might mean you're down 10-0 in a game, but you can stay on the attack. And I'm so proud of this group of young men. So that's why when I'm in that moment, BJ, it's surreal because I'm just so thankful that these players get that. I don't want I didn't want this season to be an asterisk. 2023, that's what happened. These group of seniors, then they just move on, and they didn't want that for themselves. And they're the ones that put the work in. So, I mean, the emotions for me go through the roof because I'm just so thankful for these guys and how much they've impacted my life. And I love them dearly, man. And it's.
Spencer, you dialed back practice a little bit. At least in terms of time, you wanted to be more efficient. You gave the players extra time with their families last night. It seemed like they played with a certain joy tonight. What is the takeaway from how this week went and the result of it?
Yeah, I mean, for these young men, we went into it all about how, all right, the time we do have at practice, the time we do have in meetings, we're going to be efficient, and I promise you that what we're doing, we need to get this. Whatever the reps are, whatever the walkthrough is, whatever the meeting is. And I said, you guys need to get my back in the fact that when we do this, we've got all of you. And then when we give you this extra time to recover, work on homework, work on things that are outside of football, that's your time. But please give this coaching staff, give your players, when you're here and we're doing stuff, we need to be all in with it. And at the end of the day, let's have a smile on our face when we're doing it. Because that positive energy, brings you to where you're excited for the next rep. And then when you go to sleep on Tuesday night, you're excited to come back to practice on Wednesday because that's a big practice. So it was just, and our coaches and our players, they led that. We talked about it Sunday, Monday, but when I showed up Tuesday getting ready for practice, I mean, our guys were excited to get to work for each other. And so that's why, to BJ's question, in those moments when the game's over, the Gatorade basket, looking in these kids' eyes, that's when my heart just melts because I know, obviously, I'm so proud of them.
In terms of what you guys did on offense and defense, it seemed like at times you used a little bit of tempo on offense, and I don't know how much we've seen that,
Yeah.
recently. And on defense, you guys were really aggressive. 9 sacks ties the FBS school record
Yeah.
at Boise State. Were those a couple changes you obviously wanted to make, whether it be on offense or defense?
Yeah, the biggest thing, to your first point, Jay, was I want our guys on the attack playing fast. And I said, I don't want anybody on this field scared to make a mistake. I want you to be on the attack, and I want around the room. If I'm on defense, I want them to run the ball to your side. If you're covering someone, I want you to think, please throw them to them, because I want you to be on the attack. Same thing on offense. I want you to work to score 4 touchdowns. I want the ball thrown to you. And keeping that mentality, and obviously the plan that Coach Hamden and the offensive staff, they put together a great plan that fit who we are, to be on the attack, to be efficient. And they did a phenomenal job. And our defensive staff did an awesome job. Like I said, some of these sacks too, these are max drops too. These are 3-man rush. And it's our guys just working through their fundamentals, their technique. Once again, having fun, playing for each other. Because when you play for each other in a game of football, you need to. To be special, to be on the attack, you need to look to your left, to your right, and be like, it matters more for me to do my job because of him. Not because of what maybe someone outside of here will think. It's for that guy. And I think we did that tonight. Not by any means perfect, but I really believe we did that tonight.
First game you guys have had both Ashton and George really full available. You know, just how fun was it to watch that dynamic tonight?
Oh, man, I was fired up going into the game. And both of them. I mean, you talk about two of probably the best tailbacks in the country, being able to finally be out there on the field at the same time. And not only what they did with the ball in their hand, but what they did, once again, leading practice, leading the walkthroughs, leading the offense, and not even just the offense, I mean, our whole team. Because Ashton Gentry and George Lonnie, those are big-time leaders on our team, because not only will they show what you need to do from a work standpoint, they're going to actually do it. And they're going to do it consistently. And so it was awesome to get them on the field at the same time. And hats off to Taylon Green, too. I mean, once again, a guy that came out to practice every day, worked his tail off. Coach Hamden put a great plan together for him, and he went out there and did a great job as well.
I know this is a tough question to probably ask at this point in time, but how bad do you want to continue to be here even beyond these next 2 years, Spencer?
Guys, you guys know where my heart is. I love this team. I love these players. I love this community. Like we talked about last week, we're playing New Mexico, and we're 4-5, and that stadium is packed. This place loves their football team, loves this community. And me and my wife have been here going on 7 years, and they've done nothing but open their arms to us too. Both our daughters have been born in Boise, Idaho. We love this place. We love the blue. I love these kids. And as long as I'm here with this group, that's exactly where my mindset's going to be.
This might solicit the same response you've already given us, but still, you've clearly been building the trust of these players for 7 years now.
Yeah.
To see that turn back and pay off. I mean, I don't know how many guys can spark that type of reaction. Being named an interim head coach in a season where the way this has gone. So,
Yeah.
this 7 years of work, did you feel like it paid off these last 7 days?
I mean, I know it's paid off for me in my life because of how much these young men have impacted me and my family. And even players that are no longer here, talking to them last week, calling me, checking on me. I mean, those are the relationships you build when you can be somewhere and build that trust, because trust takes time. And it's not something that, hey, I'm the coach, so you need to trust me. Yeah, maybe they'll do what you want them to do maybe on the field a little bit, but if you really want to change someone's life, it takes time. And I trust these guys from the bottom of my heart, and I think over these years, that's how you build trust together. And so when I see them go out on the field, play the way they practice, play together, it brings tears to my eyes because I know that's in them. And I'm a firm believer, not to get too far out there, but I'm a firm believer the more they learn that in life, they're going to be better husbands, better fathers, better business owners, which at the end of the day, that's the only reason we coach. It's not about the X's and O's on a whiteboard. It's so in 15 years, someone calls me and they're a better dad, a better husband because of their time here. And this group of young men will do that. And they've impacted me so much. And so this time I've been in Boise, they've changed my life. And they have my heart, and they feel that way. And like I said, guys, it's a group of kids that I would do anything for.
We're running a little low on time. Are there any other game-related questions?
Right after the game, there was like a line of players that were just wanting to stop by and say something to you. Like, what does that say?
Guys, I adore these kids, man. I love them dearly. They changed my life. And I know I'm probably saying the same thing, but hopefully you guys that have even been around me, I mean, they got my heart. And I will give them everything any day of the week, any time. And they've done the same for me. And so them lining up to give me hugs and tell them, Coach, I love you. I'm here for you. This is for you. Those things it chokes me up because that's the group of kids we got.
Last thing for Coach, not only did they line up, they surrounded you during the postgame interview. In the locker room postgame, DJ Shrimp presented you with a game ball. Just what does that impact mean to you?
I mean, even like a guy like DJ Schramm giving me a game ball, because right before I walked in the locker room, his dad came up to me and said, thank you for all you do for my son. And I was very clear with Dave. I said, your son does way more for me than I do for him. I mean, DJ Schramm is a world changer. And so for DJ and that whole group to give me that ball, and I wanted to make sure they know, guys, this is for you. This is not about me. This is for you guys. This is for this group of players. This is for the 2023 Broncos. But it gets me emotional because that's the love I have for these guys.